They have to do it
Aaron is a good singer.
What you talking about? I'm working.
Come on, Aaron.
What?
Sing for us.
though.
Sing. See? What you gonna sing?
Yeah. I think you finished.
Oh, I think he's finished. Saved by the bell, right?
Happy Sabbath, everybody.
Happy Sabbath, my brother. Shalom.
Oh, we give me a cross. Yes, sir. Everybody can hear me? We're gonna roll with it. First and foremost, I always like to give praise and honor to the God of Israel, of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that God is Jesus. Today I'm going to give you the topic first. The topic is the blessings versus the riches. Do you know the difference in your enemy's land? I know it's a long title, but there's a problem in this world because many people do not know the difference between the two. And it's our job to make sure that we don't get into a mode of thinking money and riches are the blessing of God, because that's not true at all. And I just want to make sure everybody understands this. Money and riches are tools that are used by all people, not just godly people. For example, it's like you got to nail something on the wall, and you have a nail and a hammer right there on this table, and you trying to get it nailed. Your mind just can't say, go get it nailed. You have to pick up the nail and the hammer and nail it to the wall. Now, which one is the blessing? The nail or the hammer, or the person? The person holds the blessing because he holds the power to put it on the wall. But people today have taken the tools of the world that God uses with everybody and say, that's the blessing. Oh, you so blessed. Look at all the money, look at all the cars, look at everything. You just blessed, blessed, blessed. That is not the blessing, y'all. Money, riches are tools. Believe me, you want the blessing versus the riches. But it's a tool that comes along with the men and women of God who has the blessing. But the reason why I titled this is because we went through the Black History, program. We did the color of Israel, we did it when we were kings, we did the curses. And a lot of times we don't tell Israel, you still can have blessings, you still can be blessed and have riches in your enemy's land. But we've spent so much time as a nation fighting people and trying to get what other people have, coveting their riches, instead of coveting God's laws. But this whole lesson is intended to make us understand the difference between the two. Because we don't know. I know we don't know because I was confused at one time. I got to get the money, then I'll be blessed. No, that ain't it. But I want to make sure everybody understand that as Israel, we are in our enemy's land and we are under the slave master. And most people say, I ain't under no slave master. You own any businesses? Do you have any employees? Do you have money to pay people? Well, you under somebody else tutelage right now. You under somebody else reign right now. We have to go to them to get the money in order to feed our families. But we got to understand that Israel don't make it so bad for your stay in this enemy land. It can be good, but we focus too much on taking what the other nations have. And God uses those riches and that money to provoke us to jealousy. And I'm going to show you that. But we're going to get into it. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 16. We're going to start with verse 1. I just want people to understand that you can be blessed without money. And also, you can be blessed with money.
That's right.
Money is just a tool. It's just a tool that's used by everybody. Don't get it confused like, oh, you got the blessing on you because you got money. Man, some of these people should be the most blessed people in the world, and Donald Trump should be blessed. Bill Gates should be blessed. All these people, but you know, they ain't following the God of Israel. They ain't following this Bible at all. But Proverbs chapter 16, verse 1. Let me show you something here. Go ahead.
The preparation of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord.
The preparation of the heart of man, meaning the mind. We have to prepare you to understand the difference between riches and money and the blessing. It's just one subject we deal with right here. If we don't prepare you to make you understand this, you'll get it all confused. You'll start cherishing gold. You'll start cherishing idols. You'll start doing all the stuff that most of Israel do with their gold chains, with their shoes, with all this stuff, thinking that that's the blessing. That's not the blessing. Understand this. But we in our enemy's land, so we have to make sure that we obey the laws of the land. But God said, I'll make peace with your enemies. I'll make you have peace with your enemies. Verse 7, jump down to verse 7. Go ahead.
When a man's ways pleases the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him.
Understand that. When your ways please the Lord, he'll make your enemies at peace with you. Most people today, what are they doing? Protesting. The enemies ain't at peace with them. We want more money. We want more insurance. We want this. We want better health care. We want all this stuff. And most of all, they begging the other nation, the enemies. They ain't begging God. God got that blessing where you ain't even got to worry about that. Got the blessing. But he can make peace with your enemy while you're here. What are you doing to make peace with God first? Are you getting the knowledge of God? Or are you chasing that check? Or are you chasing that money? That's what most people fall at. They chasing the tool that God uses for all men. It's a tool. It's not the blessing. Like I said, we are in this enemy land, in our enemy's land, but it don't have to be harsh and hard. Let me show you something. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16. Let me show you something here. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16. We got to understand this. We get all this blessing. We get the blessing if we with riches. People don't know the difference. And believe me, I was one of the first thought that if I got money, I'm blessed.
We all do.
I'm blessed. No, you need to understand what is the blessing of God. Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16. Go ahead, brother.
Therefore say, thus says the Lord God, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
The average person that reads the Bible won't even understand that. You know why? Because they never taught them about who Israel is and where we are today.
That's right.
We are in our enemy's land. And he said, I will make you have peace with your enemies. But you got to understand who's he talking to. And you more Israelites out here today, they protesting. They trying to make somebody give them something. You can't do that. It's not going to happen. Has it worked yet? Has marching worked yet? No, we're in the worst state now. Why? Because we're coveting what the Gentiles have that God gave them. It's their stuff. But we can have peace with them if we know the difference between the blessing and the riches. Let me show you this right here. Let's go to Romans chapter 11 and verse 1. Please don't think God has forgotten who the Israelites are and what situation that we're in. And most people look out there in the world and say, man, ain't no God helping the black folks. We got to go out there and take what these white folks got. No, you're messing up now. God ain't forgot about his people. His people know how to tap into the blessing. But if you follow after them Gentiles, you'll be looking at, we ain't got what they got. They living in the nice houses, they're wearing the nice clothes, they got all the money, get the high wages and everything. We focus on that instead of the blessing.
That's right.
The blessing will bring that and more. And more. God ain't forgot about us. Romans chapter 11 verse 1. Let me show you here. Go ahead.
I say then, has God cast away his people? God forbid.
He said, God ain't cast, this Paul talking, God ain't cast away his people. He said, God forbid. Go ahead.
For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
A lot of people don't know Paul is an Israelite. They think he's a Gentile. Think he a white person. No, go ahead.
God has not cast away his people which he foreknew.
Mm-hmm.
Won't you not what the scripture says of Elijah, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord,
This is Elisha, or Elijah. Elijah, which is, he's talking about Elijah right here.
Yes.
They just spelled it different. But listen what he say here about Elijah. He thought he was the only one. Go ahead.
Lord, they have killed thy prophets, and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life.
Most people today think that God has forgotten about Israel. And Elijah thought the same thing. He's a prophet. Listen what God told him. Go ahead.
But what says the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men
Yes, sir.
who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
You got to look around and find the people that has this blessing of God on them. He said, I got 7,000 men. Even to this day, he still has that small remnant that understand the difference between the blessing and understand that they're between the riches. Which one is which?
Amen.
And they are Israelites. They can teach you this. Go ahead.
Even so, then, at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace.
He said there's a remnant, a small portion still in his word. But you know what our focus is? I ain't got the cars, I ain't got the houses, I ain't got the riches, I ain't got the money, and that is not the blessing. They are tools. That's it. Tools. Know the difference. Jump down to verse 7. But God said, because of what Israel did, and we were cast into slavery because we rebelled against him and not follow his laws, he given these Gentiles the money, giving them the land that we are in. Go ahead.
What then? What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election has obtained it, and the rest were blind.
He said, the stuff that we know, the election, the elect, we receive this right here. We understand the difference between the two. But the rest are blind. Go ahead.
According as it is written, God has given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day.
He said they got eyes that cannot see. They don't understand the difference between the blessing, and they think the blessings are riches, gold, silver, houses, cars, land, and all this stuff. That's not a blessing. He said your eyes are slumbering. You can't hear what I'm saying. You can't hear, you can't even see it. The only thing you see is what your lustful flesh want. That's it. I got to have the best of everything. I just can't roll like this. I got to be in a new car. I got to be in all this stuff. But you learned it from your slave master. Instead of focusing on the blessing. Listen to what he said here. Go ahead.
And David said, let their table be made a snare,
Yes, sir.
and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them.
Look on the table. What's on your table? Bills. Bills from what? Clothes. Bills from Christmas. bills from Easter, bills from where you get this information from, which is the Gentiles. They tell you, you got to go out here and buy all this stuff, all these Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. You ain't got the money to get it. That's how you can show people that you're blessed. No, that's what the Gentiles tell you. Listen what it says. Go ahead.
10.
Verse 10, go ahead.
Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back always.
Ain't Israel eye darkened right now? They can't see it. They can't see that you're supposed to be here on the Sabbath day. They see Sunday as being more profitable because the pastor have more stuff than what I have. The TDJs, the Creflo Dollars, and all those people. And the people that follow them see that. And they focus on that. That's not the blessing, y'all. He said he put that there for them, for these people, which are the Gentiles, to provoke us to jealousy because of what we done and our ancestors done. Go ahead, he'll tell you here.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
Yes, sir.
For to provoke them to jealousy.
He said salvation has came unto the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. Who are the Gentiles? The Europeans that we call white folks that run everything. Nebuchadnezzar's sons, all the way down from King Nebuchadnezzar, King Darius, King Cyrus, Alexander the Great, and their four generals, all the way down to this empire, which is the European Economic Community. These are Nebuchadnezzar's sons, which are Gentiles. We don't run jack. How are we provoking somebody to jealousy? As they taught us in the churches, either you're a Jew or Gentile, and we always claim the Gentile, because we don't understand who we are as Israelites. Listen what he say here. What these Gentiles doing? Go ahead.
Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fools?
What is the fall of us? The riches of the world. What is the diminishing of? The riches of the Gentiles. All we look at. We look at what all these billionaires have. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. I was once there. I said, man, I'm missing the boat. All this stuff gonna get burnt up. God looking to see if you have his spirit on you. Understand that. He said, this is the fall of us. And this is why we so sad. This is why we have to get up every morning and go chase that check. And some of the stuff we can downsize in what we're doing, but we chasing out the ways of the Gentiles. We ain't happy because we ain't got this, we ain't got that car, we ain't got that dress, or them shoes and all this stuff. I put myself into it. I had to readjust my mind. Wait a minute. I'm going in debt. I'm coming from paycheck to paycheck, trying to keep up with who? The Gentiles and their riches. This is not what a blessing is. And I want to make sure everybody understands that the elect, God elect, they understand this. Let's see who the Gentiles are. Let's go to Luke chapter 21. A lot of people don't know who the Gentiles are. Luke 21 verse 20. We got to break all this stuff down. This is part of Black history too, but most people don't understand the difference between blessing and riches. Riches are tools that everybody controls, but the blessing, everybody don't control that. And we're going to show you what the blessing is. Luke chapter 21 verse 20. Go ahead, brother.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies,
Yes, sir.
then know that the desolation thereof is not.
What is that? 70 AD, when Israel was plucked off the land of Jerusalem, and they went into slavery under the hand of Titus, that happened in 70 AD. Go ahead.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountain,
Yes, sir.
and let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
Go ahead.
And let not them that are in the countries enter therein too.
Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance,
Yes, sir.
that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
All of this got to be fulfilled. It's not been fulfilled yet. The Gentiles still running. You not a Gentile. Israelites or the so-called African Americans don't run jack. We don't write no laws. We don't hardly have no businesses. We have to go to Mr. Charlie or the so-called Gentile or the European to get whatever we have to have.
Yes.
But he told us, he said, I will make peace with you, and I will make you have peace with your enemy if you obey my way. Verse 24, listen to what he said here. Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword,
Yes, sir.
and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Has the time of the Gentile been fulfilled? Who run it? The Gentiles, the white people, the Europeans, they run it. We have to go to them for our health care. We have to go to them for our houses, loans, everything, cars, shoes, everything. We don't produce nothing. The Gentiles control it all. He put it in their hands. God put it in their hands to do what? Provoke us to jealousy. But if you don't have an Israelite, the teacher did, you'll think, I'm missing out because I don't have the riches. That is not what God is trying to get you to see. If you narrow-minded, or if you straining at a net and you don't see it, you'll just think, oh man, I ain't got what everybody else got, man. I'm struggling. Understand what he's talking about here. Let me show you something. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 1. And we got to understand this in order to tap into the Gentile. Tap into the blessing. Don't get mad with what God gave these Gentiles. This ain't land. This ain't our land. Our land is over there in Jerusalem. You ain't talking about that? Man, I need to buy some land and leave for my family. I need to do all this stuff. Save back for retirement, all this stuff. Believe me, we all go through that, but that is not the main objective for the blessing. It's not. It will be so much easier if you do it God's way. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 1. But the way of God is obeying your slave master. This is the part of the Bible that most of the churches do not want to read. We are under the captivity of the Gentiles. And God looks at us and how we treat our slave master, or the ones that are over us in their jobs. And believe me, I got a slave master too. I got a report. I got to have a license. I got to have it all. I got to meet the requirements of what Mr. Chala or the Europeans say to do, which are the Gentiles. If I don't meet the requirements, guess what? He shut my business down. I can't do nothing. But we got to understand the protocol, how it works to get the blessing. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor, that the name of God and his doctrine be not blasphemed.
What did that just say? You honor. You don't disrespect your boss man. You don't disrespect the laws of the land. As long as it don't go over God's law, you obey and I obey. Period. Why? If we don't do what it does, he said, be not blasphemed. God put us over here for a reason. But the reason is we don't understand what's the blessing versus the riches. The riches the Gentiles have in them. This ain't what we should be seeking after. Go ahead.
And they that have believing masters, let them not despise them, because they are brethren, but rather do them service, because they are faithful and beloved, partakers of the benefit.
Yes, sir.
These things teach and exhort.
Understand that you master, slave master, you got some Gentiles who believe that we are Israelite and understand this. Do some research. A lot of them saying this. And they run corporations and companies. They understand this, but we don't understand it. We want to protest. We want to make them give us health care, give us food stamps, give us all this stuff. Just make it. And I ain't going to God to get the blessing so we can have it. He said, I'll make peace with your enemy. That's why I read that first verse. First chapter. Go ahead, brother.
If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words,
What we just read then about obeying your slave master. He said, if any man teach otherwise. If you're going out there protesting with these people, trying to go against the laws of the land, you are blaspheming. Blaspheming. That's what it is. Go ahead.
if any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Jesus Christ, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness,
Go ahead.
he is proud, knowing nothing, but dotting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railing, evil surmising.
He is proud. I don't care what you'll say. These white folk owe a little reparation. 40 acres in the mule. I don't get what my ancestors are supposed to have. I don't protest. Has it worked yet? Martin Luther King couldn't do it. Marcus Garvey couldn't do it. Medgar Evers couldn't do it. Malcolm X couldn't do it. He told us that we're going to be sold and no man shall buy you out of what? Your captivity. Only Jesus can get us out of this situation. Just because you go to jail, you don't have to make your life in jail hard. Learn the rules in jail. You can run the jail, just like Joseph did. He was head of the jailers. Then what? God blessed him when he got out. We don't see it like that. We think riches gonna do it. We think you ain't godly if you ain't got this bread. Go ahead, listen to what it say right here about this money. Verse 5.
Perverse disputing of men corrupt minds,
Yes, sir.
and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness.
Gain is what?
Godliness.
What is gain? Money. Riches. They think just because you got money, cars, clothes, and riches and houses there, oh, you godly, God bless you. Man, stop lying. Listen what God say. Go ahead.
Supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself.
He said, get away from them folks who got that mentality. They don't see the blessing. All they see is tools. That's it. Money, riches. That's all they see. They don't see that you can talk to people and you have you have integrity. They don't see integrity from what you the way you carry yourself. That's the blessing, integrity. If you got integrity, man, it's just like, for example, my daughter's tire blew out this Friday when I was hot, when I was working. I couldn't go change her tire. I said, man, what am I gonna do? I could have, but I was gonna lose money if I go. I called the dude up. Don't even go to church here. His name Wolf. He should be looking. I said, man, where you at? He said, well, what's up? I said, my daughter had a blowout. I said, can you go over there and change the tire for me? Oh, no problem. He went right over there and changed the tire. Not because I had money, because I got the blessing on me. Then when I tried to pay him, he said, no, man, don't worry about that. I got this. I tried to pay for a haircut and everything. And I'm trying to pay him. He won't let me do it. Folks said, that's small, Jeff. No, they ain't small to me when it comes to my kids. They were stranded on the side of the road. Understand that. But people would say, that ain't working with no blessing. Okay, we're going to find out. He said, withdraw yourself from them who thinking that you got money and money going to buy your way everywhere. That's how people feel. Go ahead.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
It's great gain. What do you mean? You got clothes, you got a roof over your head, you got food, it might be a hot dog or hamburger, or some Roman noodles. Eat them. The blessing on you. Keep this word.
Come on, brother.
Keep it. Go ahead.
For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
Understand that we can bring nothing in the world. We can't carry none of these riches out. Go ahead.
And having food and raiment,
Food and clothes, clothing, raiment, clothing. Go ahead.
let us be therewith content.
He said, be content. How many of us content? Or we chasing after the big house, the big car, the big clothes, all that stuff. I was there. And sometimes I still have to beat myself down and say, no, you don't need that. And I have the opportunity to do it. I said, how you gonna help other people?
That's right.
I look out to help other people. Go ahead.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare.
Understand what he's saying here. Riches bring traps, temptations. Because you can do a lot of stuff, boy. And Mr. Crab from the Patriots. Oh yeah, he got caught up. The owner of the Patriots, the New England Patriots, he got caught up bad, boy. One of them houses, them whole houses.